Hello, beautiful people. Hello, 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 hello. It is so great to be back with you for another week of Julia Loves You. This is the place where you're reminded that you are loved here, there, and everywhere, even if it doesn't feel like that sometimes. Yeah, I know. The world, it can be a real place, can it? My name is Julia Reed Nichols. I'm your new BFF, a comedian, producer, and quite frankly, an always aging human being. This week was my birthday, my 30th birthday, which feels dangerously close to 40 to me. I used the word middle-aged to describe myself to a friend recently, and I could actively see she was repulsed by the word. I think that's because she's 8 years older than me and still has never uttered the phrase middle age. But I think I'm okay. You know, age is a weird concept. As a kid, you really trust adults. When you're younger, you assume that age comes with wisdom. And then you get older, and then you realize no one ever knows what they're doing. Ever. Which then makes the world an even scarier place because no one ever knows what they're doing, right? You know what's even more disturbing than not knowing what you're doing is not knowing what is going on with your body. And this is something that as an aging woman, I have definitely noticed. There are so many things people never tell you. I recently got into the field of longevity because I want my health span to match my lifespan. So I started seeing a functional doctor, right? I started taking supplements, I started working out pretty consistently, and I'm testing my levels on everything. And during this process, I am learning the most horrific things about getting older, especially about getting older as a woman, and I'm going to share one of them with you. And I think this thing will change your life. Okay, here it is. 80% of women will get incontinence in their lifetime. 80% of women. Now, I'm not a doctor, but do you know what that tells me? That tells me that if you line up 10 women, 8 of them will be peeing their pants. Yeah, I know, so disappointing. There are so many things that no one tells you about getting older in a female body. And what's even worse is apparently a lot of this peeing yourself is 100% preventable with hormone replacement therapy. Crazy, right? But nobody knows that because nobody talks about it. God, you know, it's really like, well, quite frankly, I think we just need to start doing more medical experiments on women. Yeah. Did you all know that we don't do medical experiments on women? That's one of the reasons why there's so little research and information out there for us to pull from. And the reason that they claim they don't include women in a lot of these tests is because our hormones will mess up the results. Our hormones that we have to live with every day, our hormones that we have to take this drug with, right? The same hormones we have to live with and take the drug with, those hormones are going to mess up the standardized results. And for those of you listening in a podcast, I did put standardized results in quotation because they are only standardized results without any female hormones involved. I learned this because I heard about Ambien. I don't know if you guys are aware, but apparently when Ambien came out, it had amazing test results, right? And then they started giving it to women. And lo and behold, they started like driving in their sleeps and eating in their sleep and beating their husbands in their sleep and I don't know what else in their sleep. But that's because apparently Ambien changes the way it affects your body and the dosages needed based on your hormones. Because hormones do play a huge role in the way this whole system works. And medical testing has just been avoiding that for the entire length of it existing. So I vote more medical experiments on women. But I digress. I feel like we were talking about something else. That's right. We were talking about aging, right? And that's how we got on this topic because I'm really interested in what is coming my way. So please, older women, continue to share the information. Even if it sounds horrific, I'd rather know than be in ignorance. You know what I mean? Although ignorance can be bliss. You know, if you ask me if I thought where I was going to be at 39 is where I am, that question is honestly hard to answer for me. Because, well, quite frankly, I was delusional about my career at the beginning. Yeah. I truly thought someone was just going to see me on the streets of Hollywood and catapult me into household fame. And then I thought my life would be easy from there on out. Instead, I'm a 39-year-old professional working artist. I produce amazing events. I tour across the nation. I'm healthy-ish. I'm happy-ish. I have a great relationship. But that fame or that celebrity that I thought was going to be the basis of my career never really showed up, right? So instead, I just get to be a working, successful artist. And in some ways, I think I ended up in a better place than I wanted to be. My life's mission is to make people smile. I love to make people feel seen. I love to make people laugh. I love live events. I love live performance. I like being with a collective of strangers in an experience and knowing that we're having that pure magic together, right? I love live entertainment. And as our world moves more towards AI and digital graphics and virtual experiences, I am kind of digging in my heels on this one and really dedicating my life to these real world and imperfect interactions, right? That's one of the reasons I love stand-up. And I understand that might be the way of the dinosaurs, but quite frankly, maybe I am almost a dinosaur. I am middle-aged. I'm closer to retirement than college. So maybe that's just the direction I'm going to go in, right? Speaking of live events, I want to say that Pinups on Tour is officially about to hit the road. Our March dates are now up on the website. We're going to Colorado and Wyoming. And I am so thrilled to announce that one of my best friends in the world and one of the original castmates of Pinups on Tour, Caitlin Comeskey, is going to be joining us. I truly believe this person is one of my soulmates on the planet. And I'm so glad to have her back on the tour. It's been years and years and years and years since we've been lucky enough to have her on our stage. And to celebrate, I thought I would throw back to this interview from Working the Tease, where we talked to Caitlin about touring with Pinups on Tour and comedy, poker, all the amazing things that she does. Just a heads up, this was recorded during quarantine, so you will hear some weird references to lockdowns. She's not in prison. It was COVID. The whole world was in prison, not just her. We have not been transported back in time. Please, don't be scared. But with that, please welcome my co-host Kitty Cat DeMille and I as we delve into the world of comedy with Caitlin Comeskey on Working the Tease.
Well, go ahead. No, I was going to say, I just noticed that we have somebody else joining us.
Oh, we have a special... Oh my God, this sounds like Mr. Rogers right now. We have a special guest today, boys and girls.
All right, Kat, if you want to introduce our guest.
Sure. Hello. Hello, ladies. Hello. This is Caitlin Comeskey, who has worked with us on Pinups on Tour and Working the Tease. She was a host, comedian, singer, Jill of all trades, so to speak.
Have you always
introduction? Thank you.
I know. Have you always had 2 E's in your last name?
No, I think that's a typo, right?
No, I didn't know how to go back. I was always so late. I can't undo what has been done. So, like,
I literally was like,
where if someone wanted to find me, they could.
Yeah, exactly. But I literally was like, have I been spelling her name wrong for like 7 years?
You have been. We're not really friends. I'm so sorry.
Well, the funny thing is I looked down and I'm like, I know she's spelling it wrong. And the reason I know she's spelling it wrong is because I spent about 3 years learning how to spell your last name.
It's usually not 3. It's 8 letters, girl. 3 years.
I mean, like I was editing Pinups on Tour videos and like it would be fine except for the spelling of your name. I'm like, God damn it. And I'd have to go back and like export it again and like.
If I could go back and ease that burden on you, I would.
Oh my golly, oh my golly. So, welcome. I thought it'd be fun to chat about some of our fun Pinups on Tour stories here.
Absolutely.
Or Working the Tease, both of them. Like, I think it's always fun to talk about road life because not a lot of people have done it, so it's very fun to talk about the glamour of it.
The glamour of touring, right? Like,
I mean, can we talk about the prestige first? Like, my God, prestige.
When you say you've been on a national tour, people usually are like, oh, wow. Oh, okay. You're like,
Oh, no, there's some power behind it. It's like, oh, wow, you've done comedy for people from Wyoming and New Hampshire. Get on down.
You've changed in many a broom closet. That's what I always say. And there's always like I always joke that there's always a creepy Santa because you're in the closet that has all the Christmas decorations, and then you turn around and there it is, creepy Santa that's looking at you.
I mean, the longest tour I ever went on was 7 weeks. So some of the most intimate relationships I've had have been with those closet Santas.
Oh my God, I forgot you guys went on such a long tour when you guys were first starting.
I don't remember. I thought it was 5 weeks. I don't know.
It was 6 or 7. It was not my long time. We stopped to do laundry multiple times.
Well, lesson learned. We don't do that anymore.
Oh, and by the way, I would go back and do it all again in a heartbeat.
Well, it's not as bad now, I don't think. I think, like, the new people don't understand the, like, pain of the founding years and learning how to do this.
No, Kat slept on the floor in a sleeping bag once.
And I have to say, like, it was like the mattress topper from IKEA, and I fucking loved it. It was so much more comfortable than like every bed that I slept in usually. And I had my own bed. I felt very Japanese. I felt very Japanese. Like, yes. But do you remember that mattress topper fell in a puddle at some point during that tour?
I don't remember that, girl.
I remember because it was a different color for a while. It had like a big...
Oh, did you sleep on it after that?
There was a sleeping bag, so there were layers of protection.
I think by the time that mattress cover went away, it also had a big red wine stain on it.
Right on. I remember people kept stealing the magnets off our bus. That, like, I mean, bus is generous, off of our vehicle. That we had one of those magnets that had all the branding.
Yeah.
But our branding was like cute little pinup girls. So, like, I guess folks just, like, stole it to use for their own enjoyment. Have a fun fridge.
That's also like a giant magnet. It would take up, like, the entirety of your fridge.
I have 2 of them on myself for the record.
I do feel like I need to apologize to my former castmates. When I started Pinups on Tour, I was just a baby, right? I was 26 years old. I didn't know how to be a boss or how to tour or how to produce. I didn't even know you were supposed to feed people while you were traveling, right? So not everything was smooth sailing. And I'm really grateful for the naivety of youth. And for my friends that took this risk with me, friends like Caitlin, because now as a middle-aged woman, Lord knows I would never do any of that. No, touring's much more planned than it was back in the early days, but you can catch Caitlin on tour with us. Pinupsontour.com. As always, tickets are free for veterans, active duty, and first responders. We just need you to RSVP online so we know to expect you. And we will be announcing other dates soon, so please do keep an eye on that page at Pinups on Tour on all the things. And if you are in Bend, January 25th, I am back at Stars Cabaret, one of my favorite places to do shows. And before you're like, cabaret, that sounds fun. That sounds like a musical. Think of it more like an adult cabaret with a pole. I love this audience. They are always down for a good time. And I believe tickets are up at bendticket.com. So be sure to check that out. And finally, we are about 1 month away from the largest event I produce every single year, Winterfest. It is such a cool event. And this year we are throwing a real party, and the 80s baby in me is so excited. So Friday night, we have DJs coming into the Hayden Homes Amphitheater, which is super special because they normally don't open it up in the winter. And one of our DJs is actually Brandy Cyrus, who just got off her residency at the Sphere in Las Vegas. So we're going to party like it's Vegas here in Central Oregon. And then on Saturday, we have teen queen and living legend Tiffany. So bring out your acid wash jeans, tease up that hair, girl, because we are going to have a totally awesome time. So come join us. President's Day weekend, Valentine's Day weekend, it is the same thing. Tickets are at OregonWinterfest.com. And now I think we have come to one of my favorite parts of the show. This is where I get to read those DM dilemmas that you guys send me. So please, this one is a little different. And as somebody without children, I feel a little weird giving advice. But at the same time, I'm a human who has to live in the world with these kids, so I do have opinions on it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome this week's question.
Dear Julia, I go to the park with son after school. Recently, we've been going to the same park. Over the last 2 weeks, there has been a little 6-year-old girl at the park who seems to be on her own. Her parents, I assume, are in the parking lot. They are not in the park play area. The girl is very sweet, but not very well-mannered or good about personal space. She has attached herself to us and wants me to go down the slide with her, push her on the swings, and chase her constantly. And she asked me to watch her do this or that. Quite frankly, it's annoying. Whatever we are doing, she is right there. How would you handle this situation?
Yeah, I can get why that would be annoying. Thank you for this question. As I mentioned, I don't have kids, right? But I do remember what it was like to be a kid. And it's a very kind of self-absorbed experience. You're not always sure how your behavior is affecting other people, right? And this is one of those situations where I really blame the parents, not the kid, right? The kid is just doing what kids do. Exploring the world, letting their light shine, right? Even if it might be annoying to you. So next time you see her, I would ask her where her mom and dad or aunt or caregiver or whoever the hell is watching this child is. And then you can go up to them and say hi, introduce yourself, explain the problem. Or if what I think might be happening is happening, there might not be a responsible adult looking after this child. And if that's the case, for heaven's sake, please report it to the proper authorities. I'm not a fan of always getting the man involved, but leaving a child alone in a public park is child endangerment, and I'm pretty sure it's illegal. So if her parents are there, great. Have the discussion with them. They might be completely disengaged. They might not care. They might not have any empathy, and all that stuff's okay. And you might realize why the little girl's such a little shit. But, her parents might care. They might address the issue, and maybe they aren't even realizing that their child has some of these annoying qualities. One thing I'll say is I do have a lot of empathy for this little girl and, quite frankly, for any of her future partners, because if her parents really aren't around that much, there is going to be a huge therapy bill that comes with this. And, I started therapy a couple weeks ago, so I do feel like I am officially an expert on the subject. Speaking of kids, my therapist did ask me to start clocking all the reasons I might want to not have kids. As some of you know, I'm on a fertility journey. I don't know if that's going to end up with being a parent or not. I'm kind of exploring whether or not that's something that I need in my life right now. And so my therapist is encouraging me to notice things that might annoy me about children. And having to deal with other children in a situation like this, and quite frankly, having to deal with other children's parents, right? Having to deal with either the children or the parents, I don't really want to do either one of those. I know my kid would probably be amazing, but other kids can really suck sometimes. So still pretty undecided on that. But we'll see where we land. It's nice to open yourself up to the idea. I've been noticing every time kids are annoying in parking lots or at the gym or, shopping or wherever we are. And it does help you realize you can find these little moments of appreciation where you're like, well, I don't have a kid, but at least I can get in my car and drive away without a fight and getting a kid into a child seat, right? Because, kids can really suck sometimes, as much as they can be great. And I think that is something that's important to acknowledge. It's not all roses being a parent, But who doesn't suck? You know who doesn't suck? You. I don't think you suck. Actually, I don't really know that to be true, but that's what I'm assuming, right? If you're here with me today, you've gotten all the way through this. But with that, I do want to thank the Drawing Room Foundation for all their support of this podcast. You can always check out more about them and the amazing projects they back at Drawing Room Foundation. Again, my name is Julia Reed Nichols. I love coming here each week. And remember, we don't get to pick the people who show up in our lives, but you do get to pick to love them. Just like I'm going to pick to love each and every one of you. Till next time, guys. Bye.